Good morning, everyone. Oh my God, been a while. Nope, it's always been a while. Sorry I didn't get rid of the air freshener, so you're gonna have to see that dangling in the Commute Podcast video. So for those of you that are new, every Friday I drive to work at least, I do a podcast. It's called a car podcast, but there is still, there's only video because that's how I can record it on YouTube, right? So it's essentially, the video is useless because you don't really want to watch my ugly face drive to work. It's more so to hear me just, rant about random things, talk about investing, my journey, etc., so on and so forth. Because as you know, on the daily videos, I just got to get to the point, right? There's no time for BSing. It's just, straight talk. So let's talk about this week. So right now, it's Friday. It's actually payment date for YieldMax. So for those of you that have a normal brokerage like Fidelity, you probably already see the payment, right? For those of us that have Schwab, Robinhood, and some of the other annoying ones, they'll make you wait either until late in the afternoon or, sometimes the following business day, following trading day, which is stupid. But, why have a payment date committed if they're not going to pay on the payment date? But either way, it's a good day because we're all going to get paid. Some of us will drip, some of us will not. Some of us will use the money to pay bills. And I think that's awesome, honestly, for those of you that, people that, even if you're, whether you're retired or not, if you're using these as, I'll say, true income sources, to pay your mortgage, to pay your other payments. I heard some guy on Kamar's YouTube last night. He pays his pool payment with his dividends. It's pretty awesome. I gotta put my wallet in my pocket. Very annoying. So, I thought that was pretty cool. And by the way, obviously, always shout out to Kamar, but shout out to Max Convexity and Tactical Stock Scalper. They are now combining forces to make, it looks like, a weekly podcast. I just finished their weekly podcast, and it was pretty good. So, go check it out. I think it's on the Tactical Stock Scalpers YouTube. So yeah, both of them have a lot of knowledge in investing, the stock market, a lot of street cred. They've been around, they've been around the block, so they got a lot of knowledge to share. And so it's always good to hear, different people and real opinions. They're not like, again, it's hard when you go on YouTube and you search anything investing, it's typically just going to bring you to the 100,000 subscriber pages, and what they tell you is pretty much what every news channel tells you and every website tells you. But if you really want to hear like real people, you have to do, when you search, you got to scroll down a little, right? But believe it or not, when you search TSLY, the only reason I'm at the top, because no one else wants to cover it, in a positive fashion at least, because it's not good for them. It's not good for the guys who've been around like forever. If they start talking about TSLY, it's going to ruin their rep. TSLY's like the bad apple. They're going to be like, what? So at least that's my thinking. That's what it seems like. Or else, how would I, a YouTube like mine, have success? Because if these big time YouTubers talked about TSLY, talked about whatnot, us small time YouTubers wouldn't have a chance to grow, during this time, which, obviously, we're taking advantage of it. But at the same time, most of us believe in the product, right? I'm not just talking about these funds because I think they're, giving me views. I'm talking about them because I'm investing in them. I can't talk about things that I don't really invest in because that's not fun for me. Like, I like to research and talk about things that I'm going to do. I don't I don't just talk about things just because it helps, another side. I like to talk to like-minded people, make videos about certain things that I do, and obviously that'll attract like-minded people. So if you go to my Discord, you'll notice, for the most part, everyone's doing the same thing, right? A lot of people love YieldMax. A lot of people love Defiance. And then there's the handful of people that they just want to diversify. They'll buy a little here, a little there. I'm at a red light. But yeah, then, they play it safe. Which brings me up to another point I want to talk about. So, in an earlier video this week, I mentioned I sold some of my TSLY shares. A couple people were disappointed, they said. And they asked, why would you take a loss? Whatever. But let me just explain myself. So, in the beginning, all right, I jumped in this. I said, boom, I bought like right away. And, you guys know, I said that was a mistake to just buy in bulk right away instead of dollar cost averaging it. So that, that was one thing. And then the other part was I was way too over allocated into one fund. And keep in mind, like when you talk about TSLY, it's not really even just one fund. That's like one stock because it follows one underlying. So it was getting to the point where even though I'm comfortable with TSLY, I just, and I talked about this at the end of the year, actually. I was going to take a loss for tax purposes, but I didn't. In hindsight, maybe I should have, but what I had to do, to make me sleep better at night, to make me feel better about my portfolio, is I had to sell some so I could properly allocate the funds elsewhere. In reality, like, I don't want my portfolio to be so top heavy in any one fund at any point in time. I don't care how awesome the fund is, unless it's like obviously an ETF and invest in like 500 stocks or something like the S&P. But for the most part, like my rule of thumb has always been 5% at most at any one position. So I'm gonna get back to that, that mindset, especially on all my portfolios. So right now I'm just talking about my taxable portfolio. And by the way, I stopped at the gas station. I got a cough drop. So my voice shall be recovering today, hopefully, because this is very annoying. It's been a bad week, man. Bad week for my son. He got his tonsils removed on Friday, and it's just not good, man. It's horrible. It feels so bad. But he's not helping himself. He doesn't want to take the medicine. So he waits till he's in massive pain, and then finally we can get him to take it. But he's not even taking the medicine that's prescribed. Long story short, it's just been rough. And hopefully after this weekend, it's almost over with. So yeah, it's been a little lack of sleep. And plus, our other little one had an accident this weekend. He cut his head open, so we had to go to the hospital for that. So now, between the tonsils and the ER visit, we're looking at about $4,000 in hospital medical bills, which is not planned for. But that is life, right? That is the kind of crap we got to deal with. That is why I cannot retire. When you have young children, you have to, plan for these things. You have to keep these things, keep funds readily available for instances like this. So anyway, I'm getting kind of off track, but I just wanted to explain why I sold TSLY, because some of you thought I was giving up. Well, I'm not. Again, it's just my personal preference. I don't want to be that highly allocated in any one fund. So honestly, I've never felt better. I don't give two craps. It's a $4,000 loss. Yes, it's on paper now. I'm going to use $3,000, and I'm going to, net that against my dividend income for the next tax season. But right now, I feel great. I feel great. I have cash in my portfolio, which I'm going to, buy into each and every day. And guess what? I'm getting paid today by YieldMax. So that's even better. Plus, I'm getting $250 additional from the paycheck, from my wife's paycheck. So it's a good day. It's a really good day. Not to mention, Coin and Tesla have been doing really good. Coin got it slow its roll though, of course, because it's going up a little too high, too fast. We gotta hit the brakes a little, man. But we don't want to blow out our strikes. We gotta keep our perfect record we got going. That fund manager's been on a roll, TSLY and Coney. But at the same time, the more these funds go up, the better our synthetic position will be. So we will make money either way. But if we can make money in both ways, that is the perfect storm. So yeah, that's all. Again, I still have 1,000 shares of TSLY. It's still the largest holding in my portfolio, but I don't plan on adding, in the near future. Eventually I will again, of course. But right now, I'm trying to fill out the gaps of, the other funds. I'm getting every position right. I don't own 20 funds yet, so every position should be at minimum at 5%. And that's assuming I like the position, right? If not, why am I holding it? The only one I'm hesitant on still is Theta, THTA. This is like the SoFi one. They had a horrible dividend in the beginning, first dividend, then the second dividend was decent. But I don't know. I gotta keep an eye on them. I don't have a big position in them at all, but I have been building up my TLTW. This is the one that sells options on treasuries, so that one I'm building up. And then there's a couple others. Clip I need to build up. I know everyone hates China. I get it, but I'll take 5% international exposure with a high dividend yield. Give me it. I'll take it. These are the times to buy these stocks when everyone's selling, everyone's worried, right? What is everyone knows the Buffett saying: be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful, whatever. Can't talk, but you get the gist. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on in my taxable account. Again, I'm buying in, approximately 10 shares a day, depending on the price. This $20 stock, I'm gonna buy 10 shares a day. If it's down, if everything is green for that day, I'm not buying. I'm typically waiting. But if stuff is red and it's below my dollar cost average, I will buy 10 of one of them. I'll have to choose one. Sometimes I can't help myself and I get, I do it twice, but like today, again, I have a decent amount of cash in my portfolio now. I'm getting paid by YieldMax, and I have a $250 contribution. So I'm gonna have a decent amount of cash. So I may get a little greedy. Like I want to build up my HCAL position. I know that's a very low yield compared to these others, but it's one of my favorite ETFs. I'm just a big fan of that one. So I want to build that one up. I want to build Clip up. I'm still building TLTW up. Even Coney. Well, I think Coney will build itself up as it keeps going up, but we'll see. And at the same time, I do need to add additional funds to my portfolio. I'm not rushing it though. I have to take my time, and the thing is now, like when I research these funds, it's now part of my journey. So I have to document it, whether it be via spreadsheet or, whatever, screen prints, things like that. It's all going to be part of my YouTube journey, because it's all relevant, right? So if I research TRES, this is the new Defiance Treasury options fund, which I believe is a direct competitor with TLTW, then everything I research, I will share on the channel. So it's kind of like, it keeps me sharp too, because I can't just go about it like, I gotta like do a little more, right? Not saying I'm very prepared on my videos. I'm not. I just, I just know enough to talk about it. But once I talk about it, I talk it through. It makes me think about it even more. But because if you have to present something, more than likely you're going to do better than if you didn't. But anyway, so yeah, that being said, if you guys have any high yielders you want me to research because you think I should add it to my portfolio, most of you know my portfolio, so obviously please name ones that are not my portfolio. But on the list is TRES. On the list is QQQI. I heard Max Convexity, he was praising iSpy last night, and I was surprised because that one was a confusing one when they first launched. Confused the hell out of me, man. Still confuses the hell out of me. Look at this disaster. Trying to make a left in this busy ass road. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to revisit it, see how the dividend's paying, see what the yield is. Can I make a left today? Jeez. But yeah. So let me know what you guys think. I own all the Defiance, obviously, and you know those are easy. I buy them on X date. Simple as that. Once a month, buy them on X date. Have money available. I'm eating cough drops like candy now. But it's 7 o'clock. Damn it. I wanted to be at work by 6:30. That did not work out because life happened at home. But anyway, what else? What other topics? Let me see. Oh, my 3 accounts. So there's a series that I'm making for, all right, so I have 3 total accounts. One is the taxable. Again, the point of the taxable account is to invest in aggressive, high-yielding funds that produce income now. And the whole point of it is so I can produce income now in order to use it now. Right now, I am not using it. I'm reinvesting it. But at any point in time, I just want to be able to say, you know what? Let's use this for this. Or if it supplements my wife's income for her to quit, that's what it'll do. But either way, it's not locked in a retirement savings that says you cannot touch this until you're 59 and a half. It's in an account where I can use the money. And of course, I'm getting taxed on it. You guys don't have to remind me that 50,000 times. You're getting taxed. I know. You cannot avoid tax. Taxes are going to be around forever. We cannot, worry about that. Of course, you should take advantage of the Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks. The benefits of those accounts are just absolutely amazing. But at the same time, you should not just, put every single penny you own into that and suffer your entire life because, say you start a job 24 years old and you want to just cap out all your Roth options, and then you do that until you're 59 and a half. Okay, you lose 35 years in your life where you could have, at least enjoyed it a little better, maybe if you put some money in a taxable account. To me, I'm 41. I was already doing that. My goal was just maximizing retirement accounts, right? And I was doing that. And it wasn't until recently, and I saw these funds, I'm like, you know what? I want to enjoy life now as it is, while my children are still young, while I'm still young, right? Yes, it's a great feeling and awesome to say, I maxed out my Roth IRA, or I maxed out my Roth 401k. Well, that's a little hard to do. Their limits are high, but you get the gist. It's just an amazing feeling. However, what about the now? Okay, I'm maxing out my Roth IRA, but I have $1,000 in my checking account or my savings account. Like, really? Is that a way to live? I don't know. That's not how I want to live anymore. How I want to live is I want to put enough in a taxable account where I know in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's going to be bringing in some really, really good money. And, not only then, but throughout. So, yes, I'd love to just reinvest it, but in reality, I want to enjoy the money too. I haven't been able to in a long time because there's just expense after expense after expense. You know, most of you know, owning a home, having kids, everything costs so much goddamn money, it's nearly impossible to stay ahead. But if you can create an additional income source that generates income that you can use now, the power of that tool is just amazing. If I can produce $2,000 a month and I could use that money, oh my God, you know, life would just be so much easier. If I could produce $3,000 a month, oh my God, could you imagine? You know, at some point, yeah, I want to use the money. But again, for what? I don't know. Right now, I'm just working on the account, building out a strong team of high yielders that I know and trust. And again, that's why I wanted the 5% allocation across the board. That way, if anyone pays a bad distribution or anyone goes down, it doesn't really affect me, not as much. So that's the plan. Anyway, that's the taxable. I mentioned 3 accounts. The other account is, well, my biggest account is my 401k, okay? Because that's the one, again, I've been investing since I was 24. I've been at my current job since I was 24, almost 16 years, or 17 years, or whatever. And I've been just putting money in my 401k. And then maybe like 10 years back, I used the Roth. So I've been Rothing it. Some of it's pre-tax, most of it's Roth. And I'm getting a decent company match. So that's been pumping up. And that's going to be my nest egg, my true nest egg at retirement. But again, I can't touch that till I'm, 55. If I'm still working there at 55 and I leave the job, there's the rule of 55, which I'm told works, that I can use the money without penalty. Again, the only problem with that is all the other benefits like Medicare don't kick in till like 62, I believe. Oh no, 65? So that, I'm not working till then. So the healthcare thing needs to be figured out. So I will need to figure that part out for sure. But yeah, my 401k is doing what it's doing. I'm not maxing it out. I don't make enough to do that. I would love to max it out and still be able to put in my taxable and still afford the bills, but that's not reality. I put in pretty much what the company matches because I'm not giving away the free money. Take advantage of that. So that's the 401k. That's the growth stock portfolio. Because again, I'm limited to index funds only, and index funds of their choosing. So might as well choose high aggressive growth, and there's my growth stocks. So that's why I don't invest in growth stocks in the other portfolios. And then last but not least, this is the series I've been talking about. This is my wife's 401k, which currently allows you to invest in anything you please, which is an amazing option. And like I said, she's gonna leave her job probably before summer. So I will roll that into an IRA, but same thing. It'll be like the same account because I have the same. Right now, what I could do in the account is basically what I could do in an IRA. So no difference. But the plan for that account is it's going to represent my true retirement account. Because when all is said and done, when I'm done working, and I'm building my team of payers, my employees, right? The plan is I'm going to build out, different sections. And again, things can change. So I change my mind a lot. But right now, this is what I'm thinking: 25% dividend growth stocks. Again, all of this is through ETF because I no longer really have the time to research individual stocks like I used to. When I retire, though, maybe things will change. Because again, I'll have like 10 extra hours of my day every day. So maybe I'll want to do that again. But for now, 25% in dividend growth ETF stocks or ETFs. And then 25% in real estate investment trusts. So I love REITs. I really do. I love them. Deadly weapon. 90% they got to pay out in income. So show me the money. So I'm going to do 25% in REIT ETFs. And then I'm going to do 25% in the mid-yielders. I'm going to do 25, this is like the SFOLs, This is the SPY eyes. This is the whoever, 10 to 20% yield range, which I know those are high yielders for some, but they're mid yielders when you talk about the other funds. So now I'm also going to do 25% on the high yielders. So what are the high yielders? Well, you probably know YieldMax and Dividends, and FEPI actually would just make the cut because FEPI is a really good weapon too. So things like that is going to be 25% of the portfolio. So that'll be my plan and how I want to live in retirement. Because between all four, I already calculated if I can build up $1.5 million between me and my wife, then that should be enough to live off of at retirement. Of course, I did not calculate the healthcare expenses, but again, this is just ballparking it, right? But again, I'm building up all three accounts though. I'm building up my 401k, I'm building up her 401k, and I'm building up the taxable account. But when all's said and done, when everything settles and I want to just hit that off button for my full-time job, there's just going to be one account, one big, hopefully, account, and that's the plan. That's how I'm going to live off of them. And that's just my choice. That's my comfort level. My comfort level is not 100% in YieldMax. Obviously, I can't do that because I can't. That's not, that doesn't give me a comfort level. It gives me a comfort level if that's only 25% of my portfolio. So again, that's just my opinion. Plus, the numbers have to work. So I'm not saying that I may not, I may have to do 35% YieldMax. That's possible, but as of right now, this is what I would like to happen. So, sorry, I'm gonna have another cough drop. But so that's what I'm making a series every Monday at 3 p.m. I'm gonna make a new video. Well, as long as I can keep up with it. It's not easy. There's gonna be 4. I already made a video about how this account works. I made the dividend growth investing video that'll post this Monday at 3 p.m. I made the real estate investment trust video that'll post the following Monday at 3 p.m. And now I'm working on the mid yielders presentation, which will be the following Monday at 3 p.m. So you get the gist. And then obviously I'll make the high yielding video at some point. And then after that, I will continue to monitor this account. What I'm doing. I'm also going to monitor the funds in a little more detail because I'm starting with about 20 or so funds in each category, and I'm breaking it down to as little as I can. Keeping in mind these are ETFs, so even owning one ETF, that is being diversified. But if you can own multiple ETFs and you're okay with that, that's okay too. Because some ETFs offer something that the others don't. So, but again, in the end, what matters is your comfort level, your risk tolerance. How do you feel about it? So that's why, I'm building out this account as if I am retired. So I think it will work successfully, in my opinion. One thing I'm thinking about for the high yielders, I'm not even going to pick and choose for the YieldMax. I'm just going to choose YieldMax because that's that's the diversified version of YieldMax. It chooses all of the YieldMax funds and puts it in an even allocation, and it should yield around 30 to 40% with ease. So I think I'm pretty excited about it. But at the same time, I'm still building out my taxable account and trying to make that, the deadly force now, so that we can use the money now as needed. Again, immediate need being possibly pay bills, right? Possibly replace my wife's income, possibly for a vacation, anything we want. I don't have to reinvest it because, we're not going to live forever. We got to enjoy our life sometime. We can't just reinvest until we're old and like half walking. Invest for the now and the later, right? So I don't know. That's my feeling. But I'm old man now, 41. So, I wish I would have thought about this at 21. But I was too much of a degenerate at that point in time. I was living for the now. I was not thinking about investing for the now. But anyway, I'm at work. So the car podcast is officially over. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click that like button over and over and over again. No, I'm just kidding. I think you can only click it once. But yeah, if you guys actually like this, let me know, because I kind of need to be reminded, because I feel like no one cares about this crap. But it's to me it's easy content, because I have to drive to work anyway. So why not just yip yap? Although sometimes it's just nice to drive and listen to other YouTubes. But sometimes it's like, it's good to, even though I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to the community at the same time, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. That's Casey. But yeah, so you saw Casey the whole video swishing around. But yeah, I'll keep making these Friday commute videos as long as you enjoy them. Again, it's happy YieldMax payday. No keyword today, but if you guys can share how much are you getting paid in total from YieldMax, I'm curious. Share that down below. And if you can, just share what you're doing with it. Are you reinvesting it, or are you spending money? Are you going to go out this weekend, take your family out with that money, or are you going to do something fun, or are you just going to throw it back in the stock market and then hopefully build it up even greater? But either way, let me get to work. Hopefully not a hard day, but there's definitely a lot of meetings. Anyway, I'm done. Have a great day, everyone. Later.